gentlemen, welcome back to episode 1 of Balls Breakdown with myself, Matthew, and my other host, my father, Mike.
Camera's all over the place. Oh, you moved the camera?
Camera's good.
Sorry. You have to start again.
No, we'll just keep that in, it's fine. we're all human in the end, right? Episode 1, our very, very first special and very anticipated guest, Nicky Jones.
Afternoon, boys.
Welcome.
All right. Welcome, buddy.
This is exciting.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you've seen episode 0.
I did watch episode 0, yes.
You haven't been given much to what's going to be happening today.
Nothing
we
at
have
all.
talked a little bit
Nothing
about
at
it.
all.
But so basically today's just going to be, again, a genuine conversation about bowls. We got some kind of topics we want to talk about with you, and have a little bit of fun with it at the same time. So our first and our big one, I guess, for us that we've talked about for the last several months now, before the podcast, even during the podcast. We just want to get your thoughts on how can we get bowls moving forward. Obviously, you've tried it in the past a little bit, and one of the big people that have given us the idea behind this topic.
I do like this. I think this is going to help. There's a space for it. The game. I think the game needs to change. It's not great to watch. I don't like watching bowls. I don't know, it's like, how do you get more people involved in something that I think is not, indoor especially, something that I probably think is very good. Do you know what I mean? I think the indoor game's quite boring.
Yeah.
It takes too long. You know, you look at darts, I was watching the darts today, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
We did that last podcast.
Whatever they've done there is unbelievable because it's a pub sport, you know, and they've created it into this multi-million-dollar sort of franchise.
It does, yeah.
They're almost like rock stars now, isn't it?
It is. And you said for some of you who don't like watching bowls, you do watch an awful lot.
I do. I don't know. I enjoy like watching live bowls, but like recorded bowls can be tricky sometimes. You know, it's the TV stuff, Potters and all that. It's like I can't watch that.
It's a bit dire.
I can't watch it. It's boring. Yeah, there's nothing happening. Everyone wears the same. It's always red and green. They always use the same bowls. There's never any sort of energy.
That was going to be what I was going to bring up.
Quiet.
Right? Do you think it's not quite the game that needs to change, but the atmosphere around the game?
But I think that would change with the game.
Yeah,
You look at Australia
BPL
as the benchmark.
BPL,
you know, and I know they've got more money at there, and I know they're probably a little bit more organised than we are. But they've taken something and they've shortened it into this sort of almost like a 2020 format.
Yeah. Just what?
And
2 weeks?
made loads of money off it. They play for sort of $10,000, $20,000. You know, what are they doing that we are not? Are we having these conversations with these people about how do we change our game?
It's funny. We when we introduced ourselves last podcast, we said we're quite new into bowls. You know, you've been involved in bowls for a while,
years.
yeah. But we've come up with that very same thoughts that what you've got.
Yeah.
So if we're all thinking the same thing, surely it's time that somebody sat around the table and tried to move that forward somehow.
I mean, Chris Wright tried.
Yeah.
You know, he tried really hard with the WPL, which was the same sort of idea as the BPL. He played as a 5. I'm the wrong Rovers, by the way. They were my team.
Did you play?
I did play.
Oh, well then.
I did play. We lost though. We nearly went through. It was Mikey Brain. Cost us the games. But no, it was that type of idea where there'd be sort of like a draft, franchises, that sort of thing. And I think that's not a bad way to go. I mean, you look at teams like with West End, they're sort of the Wildcats. You know, they've got some youngsters coming through, young boys, young girls as well. You know, they're not just with the boys, they've got young girls coming through, strong ladies section. They sort of trying to sort of build a franchise, if you like.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way clubs would go. I don't know. It's sort of, I don't know how you change it because a lot of bowls is set.
No.
Do you know what I mean? To try and sort of get some change in would be quite difficult with the way that the structure of bowls is now in Wales. bowls?
It's the leagues we play in, and there's a set. We play in the EPG. We play in the EPG.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday afternoon or whenever it is Sunday, whatever it's arranged. It's 21 ends, 2 practice ends, and that's what it is. Now that's traditional bowls.
Traditional bowls. I don't mind that. That's your test cricket, if you like. I really like that. And Saturday bowls for me is great. Particularly outdoors with the social side of it.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I wouldn't mind keeping. It's the bowls around that. It's your tournaments. These one-dayers seem to be quite popular these days.
Yeah.
They seem to be the way to go. People will enter them and turn up and they pay their money to travel.
The top club.
Top club is great.
That was a good day. It's really good. It's a really good. And that might be an option of a way forward.
That sort of thing. I think that could be made into a national competition. England do it.
Yeah.
Scotland do it. I don't see why. It can't be something that's brought into Wales. It won't be that much.
Yeah, even if you did could you run a top club league rather than just doing as a knockout that gets to a final? Could you have a league so it's being played nearly every week somewhere across the board?
You need your mix, don't you? That's the thing. Like traditional bowls is great. Like it gives you an escape. You've got to play it, right? You've got to keep it interested. But we talked about obviously the BPL, right? The BPL do a 2-week format. They play games every day for 2 weeks through to the finals, and then they break for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then they do it again for another 2 weeks, right? And then you look at obviously some of the players out there, right?
They invite players out, don't they? They had a lot of English players.
50% of them are all internationals.
Yeah.
They weren't Australians, right?
No.
Something like that. It was ridiculous how many players who were not Australians playing in the BPL.
That's the future of what you want to see, I think, is that sort of... I'm not saying we're going to start inviting Australians, Kiwis, Malaysians are really good. I'm not saying we're going to start saying, come to Wales to play. But in Wales, we've got to try and make the best of what we've got, I think, because we're a small country, there's not a lot of us who play roles. And
it comes down to one thing though, doesn't it? It does come down to money. It comes down to people who are prepared to sponsor something different and give it a go and give it a try.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you talked last week about the indoor game and about the 4-rink argument, which seems to have gone on for forever. It seems like we're always talking about 4 rinks. I don't think it'll happen sort of by a vote. I think it'll have to happen eventually because there's not enough players who are going to fulfil teams. But I was looking at it this afternoon because I figured you might ask about balls. And I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to balls. I'm a bit of a nerd. I don't mind admitting that. But with Break Chat, I thought, how many teams are there? What are people going to lose? Like, what's it going to cost?
Yeah.
It's going to leave, with everyone that plays championship bowls and stuff like that, it's going to be about 12 grand. Black hole in Welsh bowls for every team who's in 2 rinks.
Yeah.
The money that they would lose across the whole season and every club. It's about 12 grand. But where's that going to come from?
Yeah. I've got another issue with that is the pyramid. So I think in a while we're going to move on to young people coming into both, But at the moment, if we make that pyramid smaller, it doesn't force the top of the pyramid to get any better.
I think
that's what England have got. They got so many, haven't they?
They play different tournaments as well. I don't even know what England do. I'd like to know more about what England do and how they. Obviously, they've got a massive player pool. They can, loads of people, probably 10, 15, 20,000 players. It's different. But for Wales, I like the private green sort of system. The way that they've got 2 teams, 2 fours, and a conference. If clubs can do that, I think that would be a decent way to go because if every stadium put 2 teams in, like there's about 4 or 5 in the Premier Division who haven't got sort of merit table teams. So they would gain 2 rinks. Almost if we went to 4 rinks in the Championship, they'd gain 2 rinks. I don't know. It's something that's been sort of floated about for what seems like forever, and I don't think we'll ever get a proper answer on it until they've got to do it because clubs can't fulfil fixtures because the numbers are getting
unless we'll say if anybody out there does know or thinks of an idea of what you're thinking, then get in touch with us and we can discuss it.
The big thing obviously that we want to look at, especially moving balls forward, right? There's got to be a platform.
Yeah.
Right? Wales Bowls have just started doing it with the live stream and stuff.
Yeah.
You, obviously, Bomber, doing it in Llandod. but there's no consistency to it, right? We need to have a platform to show balls off, right? And it seems to be YouTube is obviously the platform for that at the moment, with the Australians using it. They streamed it in Hong Kong, the junior championships in Hong Kong, they streamed that on YouTube. And then you get your bigger and more impressive things that happen. I'm going to Google this, so I want to know how many people watch the BPL, right? So if we look at, I'm going to go on YouTube right now.
To guess.
I
don't know how big the audience is. Do you know if it turned out to be like 200,000-300,000? I wouldn't be surprised by that.
No, it's
big news.
It's very popular. It's very popular, and they're growing the game on the update.
The clubs are more than just bowls.
Do you know what they are?
They're not just bowls. I know a lot of them.
It's entertainment, isn't it? There's entertainment.
It's just a facility. It's like a local. I don't know what it'd be classed as. Like it's a pub essentially with other sort of facets to it. You've got like a casino on the end of it. You've got darts. There's all these different things. I seen one live stream and they had a darts tournament going on at the same time. Yeah. With like 9 dartboards. It's how do you replicate that here? I don't know how you do that.
I think we go back then to back to the EPG on our Saturday afternoon.
And they're the better clubs, man. They're the ones who've got the facilities to do that.
We sometimes play music through the game. Now, not many clubs do that.
It needs to happen.
But it does need to happen,
That's a quite an international series. Indoor. You have to play music.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good music though?
Wow, I've been to Leslie.
It depends who's on the mic.
Oh, man. I hope they change the playlist because it's horrendous.
So, obviously, the BPL 20 finished just over a month ago now. Yeah. They had 20,000 viewers following the broadcast of the final, or the Friday night broadcast. It was actually elimination game semi-finals, and then I think the final on that Friday.
So that's all the whole.
That's just for BPL 20. That one broadcast, and 20,000 people just watching on that one broadcast, right? So I just scrolled down a little bit, right, and it said Bowls Australia. People also watched the 2024 Australian Open Women's Pairs Final. How many people do you reckon watched the Women's Pairs Final for the Australian Open?
If you said 20,000, let's say 30,000. I'd go for 30,000.
I'd say for the Australian Open's bigger, potentially 50.
27,000.
But
But you're talking like Bowls has a platform, right? Bowls has a big platform to improve.
Compare that to
you see the Super Loop?
Well, compare that. So that's 27,000 for the Australian Open Women's Pairs Final.
Yeah, just one game.
One game. Me and Bomber filmed together on the balcony in Landod the men's singles final. And we were over the moon and we had, I can't remember if it was 250 or 300. And we watched it at the same time and I thought, we made it.
Yeah. Well, do you know the funny thing is? I was looking at our first episode last night. I believe we're up to 87 views on just our first episode.
I like that. I think it's great.
So,
I really do.
People are interested.
Yeah, people want to see what.
Can I say, if 250 you said?
Yeah, 300. Sorry, it was close to that because I remember I was like, actually, they get more when I say than he does.
I think that's really, really good. And we talked a little bit before we started. Yeah. You're just using your mobile phone.
Just
you've instilled yourself, you and Bomber have done it out of your own thought, let's get it done.
And those type of events, they are the ones that people want to see. People might have been in work and couldn't watch Carl against Ross. And it was an unbelievable game. An unbelievable game.
Wasn't it?
And people want to see that. I can remember that the chum was up there and he was watching the pairs. So Ross and Jared against Owen Daniel and Steve Harris, probably 4 of the best players in Wales at the minute, in a pairs game, and I'm in work, I can't get a day off. So he's up there and he live streamed the last 3 ends. I'm driving off from where I pulled over to sit in my car. So sad and terrible. I sat in my car watching it and then he lost connection, so I'm on the phone to him going, what's going on? Because people want to watch these games, If you've got, they fall the best.
And they deserve to be watched. We have got some really fast bowlers in Wales. We talked about it in episode 0.
Yeah.
And we got some of those people coming on the podcast in the future. They've already signed up and said they're going to be on. So we're looking forward to speaking to them. But I think for us, why we talked about why we set this up. And a lot of it is to do with you. And your streaming of, and we call you, I think
we ain't in much.
10% of say, you know, I think even if you give me 10% of the equipment cost, I'd be happy with you. So I think the episode, I'm going to name this episode the King of Commentary. Because for us, you are the King of Commentary.
You're watching our Bomber? You're watching our...
Well, we don't know Bomber yet.
Get him on, yeah. Oh, you need to bleep machine for that.
We will have a chat, and we'll get in touch with Bomber very, very soon. We'll have a chat after about getting his contact details. And we do need a number of people to be involved in this little venture that we're on. It's not a business; it's a venture, like I said earlier on. So there we go.
When you look at the one in England, there's one in England, the Wrong Bias podcast. They get booked.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, and I doubt they're doing it for free. You know, I'm not saying
they'll
start charging through the nose, but you know, there's opportunities there, and if it comes in it, great.
We're not looking at that at the moment. That's something way down the line for us. I think the thoughts for us, we try to cover as many events as we can.
Yeah,
that's why we want as many of our one of those people. And to have the equipment and then go and do them. So, because we can't do it all the time. So, we've said the other week, if clubs have got events on, they want to come. I mentioned Merthyr West End. I text us up to Merthyr West End for their tournament.
Yeah.
Do some live streaming, maybe the semi-finals, finals. We can't be there all week or fortnight.
But that's the biggest money tournament. Certainly in Wales, might be.
I think it's
Britain as well. It's one of the
biggest
in Britain. Why not? And they. You know, the way Bomber does the streaming with his phone, like we do. Yeah. But if you could do it properly and give that sort of chance to stream it sort of professionally, I suppose, because that's what this is. This isn't sort of joking equipment. This is proper stuff. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you can do it properly and get a sort of a good product out at the end, then more people are going to see that.
And the side for that is not only the streaming, but on the side of that, we hope to do some podcasts at the venue as well, so we could sit down with some people and have discussions. Yeah, and we talked about the characters in clubs. There's always characters in clubs, and
not as many these days, but there is.
There are, yeah. So yes, there's lots of plans down the line that we can go to.
Yeah, I mean, there's only if we keep pushing it and people keep supporting, there's only the only way it's going to get better really is from help from the outside. But we talk about it right. Obviously, you said it. We've got some cracking bowlers in Wales, right? I've just looked up the world rankings now for outdoor this year, end of this year, right? We've got 3 men in the top 50.
Yeah, Gerard
Ross and Dan. And then we had 3 women in the top 50.
Oh, that's going to be harder to guess. Lauren Gowan's probably one.
Lauren was not in there, actually.
She should.
Well, one's going to be Amy in there.
Amy,
Williams?
Kelly and Kerry.
Amy?
Kelly and Kerry.
Kelly,
the
Packwood twins. Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, I should know they well does. Yeah. Played them in the pairs in the PBAs.
Sorry, Lauren is in this. We had 4 women. Yeah. She was hiding in the corner.
She was in Potters. I thought she's gone.
Yes, Lauren was in this. So we got 7 out of the top
100
in men and women, right? People are going to want to watch them play.
Yeah, I agree with them. Yeah,
I know. And then obviously, if we get more and more interest, then the people who are just outside that bubble, who are trying, they always get that platform then to be able to.
But it might push the ones outside to, I'm not saying they're filming them, but it's competition, isn't it?
It is.
These boys are competitive, these girls are competitive. They want to be the best.
Yeah. We're not gonna we're gonna try and pick a great game if there's worth streaming, but it's never going to be favouritism. If we're going to stream games, it's going to be mostly random until there's a game worthy of really kind of being picked.
You've got to show everything.
Yeah.
You can't just, film Ross, Dan, Jared, Amy, the backwards. You can't just film them.
No.
Which I think is a bit what Australia do. They tend to film a lot of them. They're top boys, your Aaron Sheriffs, Aaron Tees. That's why they all know who they are. Mm-hmm. And rightly so, because they're the best players. But you've got to show there's good players outside of those. Not that level. But there are quality players, who are worth watching.
Well, we got 2 weeks now, and we're up to Falkirk.
Yeah.
So hopefully we've had 2 okay. So we had the okay from the Welsh Bowls and from Irish Bowls regarding live streaming. So we're waiting for the okay for safeguarding issues from England and Scotland, but hopefully we'll get that. And then we'll expose our under-18s to being streamed.
And they're worth watching.
And they are worth, because you've got some talent, we talked Elijah, we talked about him last week, he's the British Isles under-18s champion. He was 13 winning that, he was just before his 14th birthday.
I can remember him just
we got Billy Flynn.
I'm always going to be favouritism. I love watching Billy play.
Yeah,
he's just so
big
good.
Big fan of Billy's.
He's just we streamed obviously for our trial stream. We did a live stream for the Open Triple Open, and he just balled out. Every shot Martin was asked that he just bowled it. He's such a good bowler. I love watching.
I go back to Elijah as well, because as you said, there's a number of them up in Merthyr West End. And there's a few of them. Tal. Yeah. I don't know all their names. I'll have to learn them before Scotland if we're going to live stream. But
we'll have to have the pamphlet.
They are doing really, really well, and they were Welsh under-18s force champions, triples champions. I think they won the whole. Did they win the whole lot?
Yeah,
I think they did. So whatever they've done in Merthyr West End is working, and that leads us really, I suppose, into how do we get them youngsters into the game. And it's a little bit around what we've been talking about, and it's about making it more interesting for them.
It's got to be appealing, isn't it? It's got to be. But you look at a lot of the players, and a lot of players probably started because parents, grandparents, that sort of thing. I know Elijah, his father plays. His father's a very good player. Yeah. He's also called Nicky.
Okay, it must be the name.
Not good to me. No, he's better than me. But no, you know what I mean? His family and his grandfather plays, and his great grandfather plays. Yeah. Oliver, I don't know. I think he's just Elijah's friend.
Okay.
Because I don't think his father plays. I think he does play, but I don't think he's sort of from bowls. I think they just sort of joined, all friends from school or whatever, and that's how they've got him in.
Yeah.
I don't know how this would work now, but when I was sort of 14, 15, 16, just starting, 2000, 2001, whatever that was, in the ROM there, and I suppose it's just beyond that as well, we had an under-16s league. So each team had teams, essentially, entries into this, and we had 5 or 6 players. I used to go to Pencourt.
Funny enough, I was going to bring up the boys in Pencourt. We were talking about this the other day, playing under 16s.
There's a girl as well, Mel.
Was very good, if I remember rightly.
She was good. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. And then we used to go to like Pontycama with Paul Taylor was playing. And Morgan Rowland. Those boys. We went to Gilfach. Jared was just starting. And then obviously lots of local teams. Mardy were the ones we could never beat them. But there was lots of teams, and it was about 8 or 9 teams, and you play each other twice, and it'd be every Wednesday, and that would be sort of exposure to playing third skip.
Yeah.
You never do it. You never do it in club bowls, like Billy skips for Port Talbot and for Pontypridd Ben. I'm going to be controversial and say I don't like that. He's not that he's not good enough, but I just think they need a grounding in the game. Do you know what I mean? They're exposed to this back end game early, and then they want to be international bowlers, and they're talented enough to be international bowlers. There's no doubt about that. But when they come up against people who've been playing lead for 10, 15 years, and that's all they play, the difference is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's getting the balance right, because you don't want to sort of stifle their interest and make them bored by saying you've got to play lead for 10 years before you can do anything. But you don't want them to sort of get to a point where they're skipping all the time or they're third all the time, and then that sort of ruins the game a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's trying to find that sort of balance with it.
It is trying to find the balance, but it's also trying to get him into the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got to get him, because we have all of those. When you were playing in the team, can you remember? Was there 1 rink, 2 rinks?
We had 1 rink.
1 rink.
It was just 1 rink game. We were all our fathers played. So all of our fathers. So it was me, my father, I got into it through my grandfather. My father played my brother. My brother plays. Matthew's a big fan of my brother. My brother's a big fan of Matthew as well. But so my brother played. So
you'll be getting me for a job soon.
No doubt. We had Mark Thomas, his father Jet, was one of the best, so that's how we got into it. Reese Pugh, very, very talented boy. His father played, his grandfather played as well. We had Simon Williams, his father played Paul, he played no more, but and Avion was the other one, and we had, Avion's father played, his grandfather played. They all through that, so I think that's how they got him in. So how do you get people in now? I know when you go to schools, you both do
I was just about to say, I was going to bring it up. Well, we've actually picked up 7 kids this year.
See?
All because we went into only 2 primary schools, just 2.
Yeah.
Right. And that picked up quite a few. Because what I noticed, especially nowadays, and you can kind of see it start to kind of dwindle in the actual international sports, rugby and football aren't that big anymore for youngsters. They don't feel comfortable doing it, a lot of them, and because there's now more options, you're seeing a lot more development in other sides of sports, right?
Yeah.
Bowls could be one of them. We went into the school, we picked up 7 kids, and they're all pretty good to start off with. Obviously there's a long way to go, but we got a young 7-year-old here.
But the fact that you've got them in,
she's great.
You've made that step, and you've gone out into schools, and you've made that difference.
It's retention, and it's retention. You've got to keep them going, and with bowls, it is a summer sport. So if those, and I'm going to say boys or girls, want to play football or rugby, they can play them in the winter.
Yeah.
And then when they finish rugby and football, and they want something different to do, bowls is a great opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. No, but I think Ollie, who plays for West End, and Elijah, they do a couple. They play football, I think. Do the winter, I think they've just gone to Canada or something on a football tour. And then bowls, obviously very, very good and competitive and want to sort of win tournaments and stuff like that. But I think outdoors, there is no football and stuff like that. So that's where they focus sort of goes then, But with, there's another one, Jack from Pontryfen. Is it Jack Thomas?
Yes.
Thomas's boy. Yeah. He's another one, plays in the summer, plays rugby in the winter, very good rugby player apparently. So it's trying to sort of, it's not distract them a little bit, but how do you get them from the Xbox, the PlayStation, from that sort of thing to let's go and play bowls? And
it goes back to what we discussed at the beginning, it's about making it exciting.
Yeah.
It can't be just that 21 ends, 2 practice ends.
No, it's got to be shorter.
It's got to be something more fun.
The other big thing for me, and especially when I grew up playing golf from the age of 7 onwards, you need someone to look up to as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you have someone that kind of puts their time and effort into you doing this thing. People don't know. Like we went into the schools, right, and we would try to stay engaged with the kids as much as possible, and trying to keep encouraging them and doing all this, play different things and stuff. We were only doing short mat in a PE hall, right? It was like we can't do much at that stage, right? But they seemed to be so engaged in it because what we were doing with them, they had targets, they had something to focus on rather than just like, we're just throwing a ball at another ball, right? It was like, this is almost like making fun drills for them. But when we got onto Bridgend, the ones that did start to join us, they kind of just took off. Like they were like, we have Chloe, and young girl with us. She's how old is Chloe?
Chloe's 14,
so she's down practicing all the time.
That's the thing. Once you get them,
she loves it.
You can't get them away. It's like you see so many, and Astrabeckham were sort of a bit like that, where we had loads of boys, like rugby boys, cricketers, who probably just about too old to play rugby. I know it's slightly different to what we talk about, but it's the same sort of principle where you just try and get them. So on a Sunday, lovely sunny day, and our big arm, I don't know if you've been there, is perfect on a sunny day. It's the best. But literally, they get drunk, and you just get a target mat out. And you'd be surprised how competitive people get when there's a target mat out and a couple of quid in the glass. Do you know what I mean?
And a few pints.
Really. He's a pound a go, try and land it on the target. The target's like the other corner of the green, you're miles away. You try and get some good players to do that, and they can't do it without the pint. Do you know what I mean? So you've got these blokes, and of course, competitive edge takes over. They can't stop themselves, they score a proper go, and then that's how we had a couple in. Kids and stuff, we do struggle to get sort of kids in where we are. I think you need to go into schools. I think going into schools and coaching, like you boys are doing, I think that's brilliant, and kudos to you for that, because I think it's unbelievable, and there's not enough of it.
Well, I think Caerphilly Council, I think there's a gentleman there, I forget his name, but he's doing great things up at the schools.
Yeah.
They have their school festivals tonight.
Yes.
And they've had 200 odd children going to their school's festival trying to introduce bowls.
Yeah.
So, big thumbs up to that gentleman and what they're doing in Caerphilly as well.
Ross is another one. He's in schools all the time.
Yeah.
You see it on the Sport Wales, Bowls Wales. He's always in there.
Well, we've set up an academy, and we talked about, and for us, the next step we talked about is maybe having a game against the Caerphilly schools sections.
That's
so
the thing.
it's about the development and moving on, but it takes energy, doesn't it? It needs energy. It needs people to do it and step up and say,
volunteers.
"Look, I will volunteer. I'll do it." And it's got to be longevity. It can't just be for 1 year and then it's going to finish. You've got to have some longevity.
No, I think schools are definitely kind of the answer now, right now, at this moment.
Got to be.
Well, the Bowls Wales and what is it, the Welsh Sporting Government have just put bowls on the GCSE criteria.
I think.
Yeah, this year, yeah. So
you obviously didn't listen up very much on that podcast, because we did mention it.
So it is.
I did watch it. I just missed that bit. Sorry.
It is a big part of schools now that we can now start targeting schools and people who start to show interest. We can actually now have a reason.
Genuinely shocking. I never thought.
Bowls is now on the GCSE curriculum for comprehensive schools across Wales.
That's unbelievable.
So that's our next step, especially this year.
I feel quite proud about that. I don't know why. I feel over sort of sense of like pride about that, because it's like why is it taken so long?
Well, Bowls has gone
why
through
wasn't that there for me when I was doing GCSEs? Do you know what I mean?
We've had one school buy into our academy already and say that they will offer bowls as an alternative sport for youngsters who can't find that second or third sport in GCSE.
Unbelievable. What school is that?
It is at Archbishop McGrath School.
Yeah, shut up now. Because that's unbelievable.
That's good. It's great for us, and especially as a club like us. We're a good club, right? We've got great members. But,
girls, obviously.
None of our members are against it. You can have some clubs that really don't want to see these kids coming in. And I think bowls is on a bit of a trajectory, the same as golf used to be, right? And I always use golf as an example because that's what I did from a young age, right? You did bowls, I did golf. And obviously I only just found bowls last year. But for me, golf used to be, especially when I was in school, right? I was in Bryntegg and it was 1,100 faculty and students. There was 3 of us that played golf, 2 of us that played golf when I was there.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone was, that was an old man sport, why are you playing an old man sport, blah, 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 blah. And now I've grown up and stuff, and especially over the 10 years that was happening, loads of people that I knew growing up who kind of, give you stick for playing this different sport. And rugby and football, they all play it.
Yeah.
Right? Bowls is a little bit similar. It's starting to have that effect, right? You've got a lot of these older generations very traditional and keeping bowls as is. They're kind of fading out of the sport. You're getting this younger,
like
more
barefoot bowls type thing.
You're getting a younger, more kind of enthusiastic crowd coming through that are willing to make the sacrifice, make this change that puts bowls.
But it's the type of game you can just sort of rock up on a Sunday, a couple of pints with the boys or the girls, whatever. A couple of pints, and you could just barefoot day, throw some balls around and see what what I mean. It's not the most sort of taxing of sports to try.
No.
You haven't got to book around. You haven't got to sort of book a pitch or a court, and you can if you go to the right place, you can rock up. I'm sure if someone said, "Can we come to Bridgend to have a game of bowls on Sunday, a couple of pints?" You'd be like, "Why not?"
I think it's a great opportunity for bowls clubs to put to sponsors.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in putting a banner or a sponsorship at a bowls club, then in lots of things you sponsor, they don't get anything back, do they? No. But in bowls, a club can offer them an evening session where they can come down with 10, 12 of the employees, customers, anybody, and come down and have
it's like a corporate event.
A bit of a team building event,
A couple of pints over the bar.
So you get it in golf all the time. You get corporate days away.
I think bowls has got something to offer the sponsors. So if you are a business out there and you want to sponsor your local bowls club, get down to the bowls club and say, look, if I sponsor you whatever, can I have a corporate evening or 1 or 2 evenings in a season?
Who's going to say no to that? Let's say we give you 500 quid. Who's going to say no?
It's brilliant, isn't it? And you get something back for doing it,
And they might.
And it is a good. We've had a number of groups come down as team building exercises, and they've thoroughly enjoyed it. It really did. So it is good fun.
Definite.
It's better to play than to watch sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unless you're Nicky, then you
yeah.
just live and breathe balls.
And there's Nicky's commentating, and then it's better to watch and
I'm just
live
chatting
streaming.
absolute nonsense. But, yeah.
Right, we are going to move on because we have just talked for hours about that. But obviously, you know, we all want to make bowls bigger.
Yeah,
we all want to
definitely.
make, you know, a bigger platform for the sport that we all love. So, you know, whatever people can do, just go out and do it, right? You just that's what you got to do. You just got to start it and just kind of learn as you go a little bit. So we did say we're going to throw some questions at you. So this is a segment we like to call drive-in questions, right? So they're quick fire questions.
Do you want to do this?
Our balls. I will do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at my phone. So what I've been looking for, because I was looking at the questions.
So we've got 5 questions. Just answer straight off the top, one word or a sentence, whatever it may be. We're just going to fire
things like I got enough time to think. I could say anything.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Whatever comes first. So, you ready to go for driving questions?
Let's go.
Okay. First question: favorite ice cream flavor?
Good. Strawberry cheesecake. It's the one from Lidl. It's about £2 a tub, and I've gone through about 7 of them since Christmas.
For any other business, there are other businesses with other ice creams that for sale
I've
as
got a
well.
tub ready for when I go
You
back.
driving questions, you two. Come on. Then.
Sorry.
Question 2: do you prefer indoor bowls or outdoor bowls?
Outdoors.
Outdoor bowls. Okay. Number 3: can you describe your woods? We want colour, make, size, and why you use them.
Size 3, Tiger Eagles, green. I've tried them all.
Go to alcoholic beverage. We know you like it.
Fruity cider.
Lastly,
Obviously.
if you got to go on holidays, would you prefer a holiday destination with sand or snow?
Sand.
Hot weather conditions.
Always.
Here we go.
What as bad as you thought was there? You thought there was going to be some low ballers there. Then
was
you
like-
there's going to be something.
He started sweating a bit. It's like who wants to be a
The
millionaire?
ice cream is unbelievable. I genuinely have gone for it.
we know that you post a lot about your ice cream on Facebook. If anybody follows Nicky on Facebook.
That, right, sorry, before you go further, I need to address the elephant in the room here. That started, I don't know how that became a thing, right? I genuinely don't. I know
You
how
did
this
it
thing-
yourself, really.
No, I did it myself in the end. But so I went to Leamington, quick story, went to Leamington to watch Joe, Chris's son, Chum's son Joe, play for Wales in the international series. Boiling hot day, and they serve an ice cream. So I had an ice cream, normal, one ice cream. Thought, it's nice that one, so I'm going to have another one. So it's about 7 o'clock in the night now, I've had a couple of pints. Thought, I'm going to have another ice cream. So I had another ice cream. The next morning, Mark Harding, and this is aimed at you, Mark Harding, because this is a border, said, Nicky had some ice cream yesterday, didn't he? I had 2 bloody ice creams, right? 2. So I thought, no, sorry, I'm going to have another one. And then I had about 3. So it became a thing then that,
Okay.
So I do
blame
it,
Mark Harding.
I 100% blame Mark Harding. I got to be nice when I play with it too. But yeah, it's just, I do it now just as a thing. Just, look at me on ice cream. It's a bit naff really, but I do like ice cream more.
And for those, because we obviously said earlier on, this is going to go on YouTube, it's going to go on to Spotify. Mark Harding, for those who are new into bowls, just Google.
So who's Mark Harding?
Who's
Mark
Mark
Harding
Harding?
is a very, very good player. Very nice bloke. Likes a lager, and is probably one of the top ones in Wales. When he plays for Cardiff Indoor, nice guy. Yeah, nice guy. Yeah.
Right, so that was our driving question segment over and done with. Very, very easy, obviously. So we have talked about it a little bit, in the first kind of topic we had, but I kind of wanted to kind of dive into more about, obviously, you live streaming the games in Llandod, doing all of that stuff. What kind of made you go into
I
live
started
streaming?
ages ago. I don't really know why. Like you're just watching bowls and you're watching the game, you think, this is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
So it just went live. Like Facebook Live was a thing. Usually, I think it first started, a bit drunk, shock. So we used to have club tournaments, on a bank holiday or something, and I'd sort of go live then, step or whatever. And then sort of kept doing it then, thinking, people were watching, just get randomers. You go live, if we went live now, right, I bet you I would get 10 bowlers watching a live stream, just thinking, it's like they just want to watch bowls. So you go watch a game, live stream it, just go live there. And then it become a thing, I'd be like, people perhaps expecting me to film this now. Do you know what I mean? Not that they do, but so you try and sort of stay out of the way. You don't want players to sort of notice it too much because some of them don't like it very much, and But yeah, it's just people want to watch it, so why not?
I'm often on Facebook.
Yeah.
Put a little plug in for Chris Wright, because I think Chris Wright started Welsh Bowlers Chat, or one of the.
He was one of the ones who did it.
And if you're a new bowler and everything, you need to go on to Welsh Bowlers Chat. You need to be on following it. But often you see people on Welsh Bowlers. Nicky, are you live streaming today? Are you there? You live streaming? What's the score?
Someone live streaming for me.
Oh, are you having an ice cream?
No, I'm in work. But yeah, the outdoor game sort of lends itself easy. It's easier to stream outdoors. It lends itself to a quicker game. There's more happening.
Don't get crappy Wi-Fi.
I think that's. I can't understand that. How do people not have good Wi-Fi? It's 2024, like. 2025 possibly.
It's expensive, that's why. And there's no money involved at all.
No, there is. There's a 12 grand black hole. But no, it's. I just think it's just part of it now, isn't it? It's like I don't understand why more people just don't put the cap. You ain't got to speak. Yeah. You know, if you just put the falls final.
You don't speak.
I speak too much. I've been told too much. You watched the Rinks final last year. John Crowdy, top guy, filmed the Welsh Falls final. Didn't say a word. I couldn't take my eyes off it because you want to watch it's top class bowls. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you want to watch top class bowls and someone's filming it, okay, what are they saying? You know, sometimes Bomber can be hilarious. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's the funniest thing, which is great. You know, and I suppose I'm not watching the bowls too much, and I'm just trying to sort of wind him up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just don't understand why more people just don't put their phone on the side and just film a game. It's not difficult to do. You know?
Well, hopefully we're going to fill a little bit of a gap on that as well with some live streaming straight onto YouTube.
But you're doing it properly, which is great. Because I think it needs to be done properly.
Well, there is room for more than one lot of streaming. You know, we could be streaming as part of our Bold Breakdown podcast and streaming. Somebody else could be streaming on their phone on a different match. There is a need for.
I think people will want to watch it like the under-18s, for example. You know, it was in Wales last year, so people might have had a chance to go and watch it. Nobody's going to travel to Falkirk unless you're sort of with the players, really, are you? Mm-hmm. So why not?
And you've got family.
I'd love to watch Billy playing. Yeah. I'd love to watch Elijah and Oliver playing. Yeah. You know, the girls, Georgia from our club, Cannon Valley, she's playing. I'd love to watch her play.
Yeah, she is, yeah. Is it her first cap?
First cap. She's doing amazing, by the way. Unbelievable. It's first year bowling. In the women's under-18s, under-25s as well. Yeah. She's unbelievable. I think she was involved in the Welsh trials as the senior trials as well. I don't know to what extent. But I mean, it's great, you know, and they need to be shown off. We need to see these people playing because their friends see them playing.
And they'll inspire the youngsters when they're the people who are going to inspire the youngsters to join.
They almost become sort of mini celebrities then, don't they? They go, I see the video on YouTube or see it on Facebook or whatever. People see it, don't they? It needs exposure, it needs to be visual. You know, and without that, how do you grow the sport?
You know, for us, for the youngsters, we've already got I think we've said we've got the Flynn family coming up.
Do you have the Flynn family?
And I did say in the last episode, if Elijah or his father, grandfather, great-father watching, we'd love to have Elijah on as well, or maybe a couple of the boys together from Merthyr West End, and we'll come up to Merthyr West End and do a podcast from up there because they need that exposure.
Definitely.
You know, they really do.
Right, we'll go back on topic now.
Yeah, go on then.
Sorry, it's my...
I'm the kind of the No, it's great. You know, we love it. So obviously, you know, we talk about the Welsh events, right? And kind of a lot of these questions about this live stream, and I wanted to kind of focus on Llandon, right? Because there was a lot of greatness to Llandon. Yeah. Obviously, with both of you streaming the games and stuff, just a little bit of fun about it all and stuff. So, kind of looking back at Llandon, if you can remember what games you streamed or what games you watched. I know obviously phone life battery when you're on Facebook dies very, very quickly, so it can't. What was the kind of the best game that you managed to stream or watch? I know the best bowl. I'm going to be asking about that in a second.
Best bowl,
not the best bowl.
The best game.
Just the game.
Best game.
What was the best game you watched, or the game that you enjoyed watching, whether it was streamed or not?
I enjoy the games. That game was a good game, mind, with Rossett Bowl. It was a really, really good game because they were sort of fighting back, and they sort of.
You didn't give up, Ross. He just doesn't give up.
Never does. Never does. The game that I enjoyed the most actually wasn't sort of the tournaments. It was the county final.
Okay.
It was Pembrokeshire against Vale.
Right.
What an advert for county bowls that was. I know some people don't sort of agree with county bowls. They think it's a bit naff and it shouldn't be 6 rings and they haven't got any purpose anymore. I really enjoyed that game. It was high quality. There was some unbelievable Berwyn Dennis played 2 unbelievable balls the last end, drew 2 right on the top, off the middle, to basically win the game for his team.
What, didn't it come down to one shot in the end?
It was 1 shot, yeah. And I think he drew 2 right on the track, off the middle, and won the game, you know. And it was obviously a lot more around that as well, but you know, with Andrew and his situation, but it was a brilliant game of bowls. Just there was stuff happening everywhere, you know, and it was back and forth, and it was up and down, and you could see people going nuts over there and some going nuts over there. It was just what you'd want a game of bowls to be if you were going to say that's what we want to show you. It was that good. I really enjoyed it. The sun was out, you know, and I had a few ciders, so you know, perhaps I'm not going to do with rose tinted glasses. And I get messages off like the Vale and Pepper Place saying it was absolutely rubbish. No, I really enjoyed it. It was just a good game.
Well, that happens a lot. You have people think they played rubbish, but they actually played really well. And people on the side kind of respect it. But I know you want to talk about that shot from Ross. Wow. Dad hasn't actually seen it.
Have you not?
No.
So I want you to talk him through the shot, because I know what happened.
I was
I know.
My head fell off and I wasn't.
I'm just looking at your face. And
no,
it
was brilliant. It was absolutely
the commentary was amazing.
It was just sort of just said what I saw. So they tore down on the end, and they haven't really played a very good end. To be fair, Ross's team didn't really play a great end. So Ross draws at the back. Really trying my best to remember now. So he draws one just at the back. The skip comes up. We've been really good, man. The skip against I don't know his name, Wayne, I think his name is. He was really, really good. Played some great balls. And I think he just sort of closed it down a little bit. I tried to block him out. And he had a gap. And the boy said it was about that. It was about that.
Yes.
It was like a tiny gap.
For those who on Spotify won't be able to see you doing that with your hands.
Less than a foot.
Less than a foot.
Yeah, less than a foot. Probably
just
a
enough to get a
ball
ball
and a
half,
2 balls wide, maybe.
And he had to get through the gap, get off the ball, and turn the jack into the ditch.
And perfect weight.
Perfect weight, otherwise he wasn't going to get anywhere. And he done it, and they went absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. And it was amazing. I loved watching it.
I'm pretty sure after that you dropped an F-bomb
I
on the
repeated
commentary.
the F-bomb.
Quite a few times. You were excited.
I was watching Jared, because I never watch the ball. So when there's a ball coming up, I never watch the ball. I always watch, my camera's on the ball, but I'm watching the player. Because you know, if you're close, like these boys, they let it go and they're like, I've got it.
Yeah.
And he let it go, and I didn't watch Ross. I should have watched Ross. I watched Jared.
Well, Ross don't show much.
And Ross showed plenty. If he's close, he'll tell him, trust me. And he's close a lot. But I watched Jared, because Jared he'll tell him, and you can see him, they're all like this behind him, and then what an effing ball. And it was an unbelievable shot. Unbelievable shot. And then you can just, and they had to play the extra end then.
Yeah.
So they had to play the extra end, and they won the extra end. Couldn't tell what happened.
We'll have to show him after
I'll show you after.
Because there was the shot, probably, and luckily you
I could send it to you if you want to clip it onto the end of this podcast.
If you do that, we'll try and clip it on the end of the podcast.
Unbelievable.
The shot itself, I think that might have been the best bowl shot.
Yeah, 100%. One of the best.
Remember Potter's years ago, was it Nick Brett? Drew that shot.
Different balls.
I know it's different, but the shot itself, you look and you think, wow, what a shot. It was
one of those circumstances really had to get it or they lost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
the pressure on that.
The pressure on it.
And that's a Welsh final. You know,
it was the semi-final.
It
was the semi-final. But so from their point of view, so you know, and I'm not speaking for Ross at all. You know, he come on and he'll tell you about himself, no doubt. But he qualified in 4 national finals, so you got through in the singles, pairs, triples, and rings.
It's a long day.
Well, it's a long week. You know, you played every day, and then he was in the singles. I'm not sure if he played the singles. No, it was before the singles. He played every day, and obviously didn't get through in some of them. He was through in the rigs and he was through in the singles. But like, imagine qualifying and thinking, I got 4 chances. And you don't get it. Like the pressure he puts on himself. I know he puts a lot of pressure on himself, but imagine that, and thinking, I've got to get this to just keep it going, you know, because he's got such high standards of himself, and the boys around him, like, they expect to win.
I met him for the first time last season. What a lovely guy!
What a guy! I sort of know him. Played with him quite a bit in county and sort of under 25 years ago. Can't say I've ever sort of sat down and had this type of conversation with him, but he could be, if he wanted to be, the biggest knob. He could be the biggest idiot in the world because he's so good.
He is that good.
He is the total opposite. He is the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Like,
well,
genuinely.
He played Ken in Bridgend last year.
Oh, right, okay.
And obviously,
he played green singles, wasn't
no, I got it wrong.
You got it wrong.
I said it was something like the
Crashley Bowl.
Is it the Crashley
singles?
Where you're the club champion?
Yeah.
That's the one,
Yeah.
I think I called it something like the Finchley Bowl or something. My apologies. I did say I'm quite new into bowls.
But he played, obviously, Ken down Bridgend. And we talked about it in the last episode, so we're not going to go into too much. But afterwards, he stayed for a drink and had a chat.
Every time.
He was lovely. He was just
as an ambassador for the game,
person.
he is perfect.
You couldn't ask for anyone better.
I suppose a good time to in the next month or so, we're going to be having, actually interviewing him quite soon, but in the next month or so that he will be on one of our podcasts, which will be
episodes agreed to come on. So we will be sitting down with
grilling him on his delivery, no doubt.
It is one thing.
I did watch.
Not grilling, I'm just interested. Because it is unique, isn't it? It's quite a unique delivery.
And it doesn't just...
They get close.
All the time.
However, you talked about we talked about the new thought is this time capsule in the Welsh coaching.
Yeah.
For Matthew in golf, it's a pre-shot routine. And I watched him in New Zealand, and he is nearly bang on 7 seconds from the moment he picks that wood up to the delivery. Absolutely.
Trust his talent.
Every single time. And there's loads of learning for young bowlers in that as well.
He's the perfect one to look at. You say, they need someone to look up to. You've got the perfect example.
Right.
Sorry, it's a Ross Lovin, sorry.
No, it's fine. Last question before we kind of move on to, why we talked about Llandod a lot in the last 20 minutes or so. But are there any plans in the future to continue your streaming career?
Always.
Obviously, we've invited you to come on.
I'm always going to be stood on the side of the phone.
Yes, commentate for us at any point in time.
We can't always, because sometimes you'll be behind
we went to the Welsh finals last year, and both Wales had their iPads and their phones or whatever, which was great, but the Wi-Fi was not so. I did a bit with Mikey Brain. Mikey Brain was sort of looking after all that, did a bit of that. But I see no reason to stop.
Yeah, no, Mikey's obviously going to be coming on with us as well, and he has also agreed that he will do some guest commentary for us if we ever need him.
That's in between changing some nappies.
Oh yeah,
so he's going to be on nappy duties very soon. I
haven't seen anything.
No,
fingers crossed.
So I said it's going to come
tomorrow.
Yeah, I said Thursday. I told him Thursday. I reckon it's going to come.
We do wish
Mikey
and so all the best with
So obviously, so streaming is going to continue.
Never going to stop.
So obviously, your streaming was massive, and it kind of turned into a big thing for you, right? You ended up getting invited on to Radio 1.
No, I wasn't invited. No.
Or you just
No, I again need to discuss this. So I'm so sad. This is shit. No, I was on my way to work and.
Oh no! I think I've read something.
I was on my way to work and I was stuck in traffic and they come on. I was like, "What are you known for?" And I just thought, "I'll send something in because I'm a bit of a pleb like that." And then the bugger read it out, like he played my voice note on my phone went mental. I was like, "No, I can't."
What did you say? You were the most.
I said people know me for I'm known as the bloke who live streams bowls matches. And he was like, "Oh, well, I clean drains." He's like, "I'm known not for being a Radio 1 presenter, but for cleaning a drain." Like, that was his thing. And then people started messaging me, and then John Crowdy again come up to me and I was like, "Oh, can I have your autograph?" I was like, "Oh, cheers, John." It's not that level, but I stupidly sent a voice note into Radio 1 and they played it.
Oh.
So, yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it.
So obviously we talked a little bit about everything that's gone on over the last few months and things like you said you have been known for and you have been doing and kind of making big waves in the bowl scene with the streaming and everything going on. But the reason why we started this podcast and one of the big things we want to do with this podcast is to gain people's experience within bowls. So the next kind of 20, 30 minutes or however long it may take. I know we love to chat in this house, and I know you love to chat as well. Just kind of asking a bunch of kind of personalish questions about your experience in bowls. Nothing kind of too like in-depth or anything, but kind of things that people are going to want to know about you and how you got into all that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, so it started 20 years ago basically. Not 20 years ago, 2002, 2003. Just before 2002, maybe my grandfather played, so I went and had a game with him. You know what it's like once you start, that's it, takes over your life then, doesn't it? So played second team, PG2 second team for a while, for 2-3 years before we sort of got anywhere. And that's what I went back to, we're having a grounding in the game. Do you know what I mean? That was my grounding in the game. It was, you got to play with a bunch of old men, and you've got to sit there and you've got to play and you've got to learn, and it's that type of thing. And then, sort of got the hang of it, but anyone ever gets the hang of it, do they?
No.
But enjoyed it and stuck at it, and then sort of was reasonably okay at it, I suppose. Not too great.
Well, I mean,
not too great, but
it has got you to getting to play for Wales
a
few times.
I'm very lucky, hoping.
How many caps have you had?
Two senior ones.
Are they indoor, outdoor?
Indoor.
Both
last year. So I was picked a sub last year, which was great. I couldn't believe it.
First time.
Yeah. First time I did a tryout for the seniors. I couldn't believe it. Like, you just think, it's like it's a dream come true. Like
for any Welsh person, boy, girl, whatever, you dream of representing your country in something, don't you?
And I was never going to be a footballer. I was never going to play rugby. I was never going to do any of that nonsense. I haven't run for 20 years. I'm going to start now. But it was just, I didn't expect it, and then you hear whispers around the time the teams are coming out. Oh, you might be okay. You might be this. You might be that. And I was like, I had to go and take like 20 minutes in work, and like my boss was like, go and sort yourself out, because my head was all over the shop. I couldn't handle it. And then the team came out and couldn't believe it. And a great experience, man. Yeah. Like a brilliant weekend.
Yeah.
So the first game they played Scotland, nearly won, and then the second game they had to make a couple of changes. Stephen Reese Jackson had to leave. Had a family situation they had to go and see to. So I was only sub. I was the only one left. So it was like, you're in with Ross again. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Like brilliant with me. I didn't have a clue what was going on, to be perfectly honest with you. Couldn't really tell you much about that game. Bit of a blur, to be honest. I felt much better the day after. In the next game, much more comfortable, and sort of I'm different for me really, because you look at Billy, Elijah, Oliver, those boys. They're going to get in young. Elijah's 14, 15. He's going to get in by the time he's 16. There's no doubt about that. Billy is 16, 17. He's going to be in by the time he's 18.
16.
They're going to be in young, whereas I'm sort of different to that.
Yeah.
So I've never trialed before last year.
No.
Never even been considered. And then I was in the trial, and
that's a great achievement.
It's unbelievable.
And you've got your final trial coming up as well, haven't you?
Yes, final trial on a Friday night in Italy, so that'll be interesting.
You talked a bit on your nerves then. I just want to ask you, you've got the young girl from up with you who's going to... Georgia. We've got young Adam Pritchard who's going to be in the...
yes, love Adam.
Yeah, lovely kid,
yeah.
And there's a couple of Jack Evans from Kidwelly, I think is another one boy. There's a couple of them who are making Fionn Stevens, I think is making their first cap in Falkirk.
It's a young team.
What would you say to them about combating your nerves? Like you said, you were nervous that first game you played. What would you say? What would you say to them?
I just enjoy it as much as you can. Try and take it all in. I found it really difficult to sort of. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
Especially I don't know what the under 18s is like. I'd imagine very similar because there's lots of people, lots of balls going on. But it's just carnage. The international series, if you haven't seen it, it's just absolute bonkers. It's just a mess really, because there's just people everywhere, and there's balls going everywhere, and there's noise everywhere, and it's like the old person's worst nightmare. So you're trying to concentrate and focus and sort of stay on your own wing and do your best there. But then you're trying to sort of watch, it over there, you're trying to make sure he's all right there, and it's just, I don't know,
So your words to them youngsters is
enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy every minute of it, because
I'd be proud.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
they played the anthem before the start. I was where the bottom lip was going and everything. It was, honestly, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable experience. Unbelievable.
Well, I've had obviously the pleasure of playing with you a couple of times last year indoors.
Bowls.
Bowls, yes. Oh no. I've played with quite a few people. Funny enough, I've only been playing now 2 years. Well, just over a year, going into my second year this year. Played a few times last year, and I gotta say, you were probably one of my most favourite people I played with. Again, but you talked about it like with Ross, right? People who were very engaging with new bowlers. I was brand new last year, right? It was my first ever season of bowls. And I got to play with you about 2 or 3 times, really. And I was your second, you were leading. And you were just so engaging and encouraging for someone like me. And that's what you need as well to be a good player in bowls. You've got to have the ability to not cuss your teammates out a little bit, right?
Some do, but
some do.
I just don't think, you want someone to do better, you want them to sort of, if they're not in a good place and you want them to try and do better, I don't think that's going to be the way to get them there. That's not the way I work. I'm not a shouter.
You are hard on yourself, though. A few times you bowled quite well, and you're quite hard on yourself.
Awful myself, but that's me, because I expect.
But you are a hell of a bowler, even if it comes from someone like me. You are a hell of a bowler.
Mind you, when we did go down to the school, his brother said he was probably better than you.
He did say he was better.
It wasn't time. No, he didn't. That's joking. No, he can play. He just doesn't anymore.
Right, so obviously, started at a young age, fairly young age, played for a long time now. If you could pick your top 3 players that you've either played with or played against, who would they be?
Rob Wheel's number 1.
Okay.
Rob Wheel, number 1. I think he's the best Wheels I've ever had. He's unbelievable. Ross. Again. I think he's playing at the level.
You better be careful now, because there's going to be lots of people. Your phone's going to be going like heck after this goes out.
I think Ross is playing at the level now that's about as good as probably Wales has seen. He's best. Yeah, he's the best we've got at the minute. So the question was best ever?
No, top 3 you've played against or with. Can you top 3 that you've ever
played? The third one's going to be a bit of a curveball, and it's sort of a personal one to me. It's like John Pierce from the Rebecca Bowls Club. Great player. Really, really good player. Really looked after me when I started. So I can remember I was 2004. So it was 2005, because I won the county under 18s 2004. And in 2005, I was just, trying to enter all the tournaments I could, trying to play as much bowls as I could. So John Pierce, so what's that, 2005 was 20 years ago. So he would have been late 50s. He's still a really, really good player. And he's like, come and play in the county pairs with me. I never forget that. Come and play in the county pairs with me. We had a really good run, and we got to the round before Landod, and he couldn't play. He was on his holidays, and he wouldn't come back from cold or whatever. And his wife was like, go back, and he's like, no, I'm not going to go back. So I had to get a sub in, and we lost our last ball. But he was great to me, really looked after me. He helped me up loads. The way he played the game is kind of how I play the game. I sort of learned a lot from him. So yeah, John Pierce would be one for me, and mid-clan bowlers, John, for sure.
And that's great. That's nice that you remember people who looked after you.
And that's the thing, you've got to remember people who helped you along the way. Like I remember there was one bloke, Martin Thomas in Australia, and paid my membership for years. Never got paid membership, just already paid. Martin's paid it. It's like, oh, cheers, man. He's the one who I kept when I first got into the second side. Martin was on a rink, with my brother, and that's the rink we had. And you can't forget these people.
That's right.
They're the ones who the game is. You can have your superstars, great.
Yeah.
But you need your club men to.
Well,
keep the game going, really, because without them, you haven't got your superstars.
It's kind of those pieces in that puzzle that get you to where you are, right? Yeah. I had it in golf. I had a man called Joe Lacey who played everything with me. No relation, no family, just someone at the club. He was, 60s at the time?
He was a great man.
And he just played every tournament with me. And I loved it. And I remember he got me to where I was, because what he used to do for me, we used to play pairs, so alternate shots. So whenever we were playing, he used to put £1 down to mark the golf ball. So if you make the putt, you can keep £1. I started making loads, so you start putting 20p's down there. It's like, I
can't afford to keep getting rid of money.
Stuff like that, but he never said no to me.
No, and they're the people you need, and John was great, really, really good. And still now, I see him Christmas Eve, had a few drinks Christmas Eve, he's always asking how to go in.
Great.
You need these people to have to, so John Pearson.
So I'm glad you've got some people in mind, because the next question, and again, a little bit of fun with this one, what would be your dream rink? Right, and this could be anyone, right? It could be people that you don't know but you want to play with. It could be people you played with before.
Right.
Be anyone. So you and then obviously the three others. Then.
Oh, so I'm playing.
You have to play.
So
your dream rink with you.
I'll throw the jack, so I'll go first.
You're going to lead then, yeah?
I'm going to play lead.
Okay, who's your second then?
Shit.
You're not supposed to give it. That's why you've got to tell him. He messaged me this morning. What are we going to talk about?
A couple of things. I need to get some things planned.
We didn't tell him all these things.
No. Best rink to play in.
Who would be your dream rink? Your dream rink.
So everyone is absolutely playing maximum level.
Yeah. So it's not
nice people.
Yeah. Whether who would be your
who's your Sunday afternoon? Have a couple of pints and let's have a game. What's your rink?
Famous or not? Any position.
Chum should be in there somewhere. He's got to be in there somewhere. So perhaps Chum will play number 2.
Okay.
No, actually no. Sorry. I'll go for Mark Wyatt.
Okay.
Number 2, Mark Wyatt, left-hander, Commonwealth Games gold medalist. He'd be number 2.
Okay.
Unbelievable player. Hell of a guy. Great fun. I would have Di Wilkins, Jeff's father, number 3.
Okay.
Di Wilkins, unbelievable. And I would love to have played with Di. Like, you hear stories and stuff like that. I would love to have played with Di Wilkins. And then skip in Mal Evans. So Mal Evans, again, when I first started, Mal was 60s, 70s. He was world champion, first left-hander, world champion, outdoors from Beckley Park. Great guy. Really good, and an unbelievable player apparently. Like, I only seen him when he was sort of older in his 70s, and he was really good then. But yeah, I wouldn't mind sort of throwing the jack and stand out the way for them three just to lob them about. Do you know what I mean?
Finish your pint while they're playing.
Finish my pint and I'd stream that for sure, because they'd be unbelievable.
So this is kind of good. This will get you in trouble now. The next couple of questions are all going to be about the bests, right?
The best of the best.
The bests of the best, and they're not players related, so it's not going to annoy any singular people. You just might annoy maybe a couple of clubs in the process. What is the best green that you've played on? Yeah.
No. Yeah. No, I stand by that. Ashwell Bowls Club is the best.
Okay. Best atmosphere you've bowled in.
It was the Carruthers Shield quarter-final. We played against Ely Valley. We done by 1 shot last ball. We had people, so our green is sort of by Torquay train station. We had people on the high street, which is like half a mile away, going, is there a rugby game on? But there wasn't a rugby game on, it was our bowls game. Unbelievable game. And they were great fun after as well. Really, really good laugh after the game, and we got so drunk that night. So drunk.
Again?
Like 4 o'clock in the morning drunk. But yeah.
Best clubhouse you've been in?
Ooh. Best clubhouse?
Yeah, what clubhouse you walked in and thought, ooh, this is quite a nice clubhouse here? Good facilities and that kind of stuff.
I mean, West End looks good. To be fair, they've done a lot of work, it looks good. Yeah, I suppose West End is not too bad at the minute.
Okay. Best game you've played in?
Played in?
Probably
that Ely Valley game. I was dreadful, but shock.
What were you going to say just then, other than that played in? Were you your best game?
I thought you were like, what's my best ever game?
What is your best ever game?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't know, like, how do you know what's your best game? I can think of games where I thought, it's good today, but they don't happen often. They don't, you know, I'm not that good.
For any selectors who are listening to this,
I'm brilliant.
The
70s.
I can confirm that.
No, I don't know.
Who was the most fun to play with through your career?
Mike Jonathan. Mike Jonathan, what a guy.
I don't know, Mike.
So Mike Jonathan was a member of our club, sadly passed away in COVID. He was a maths teacher in the school up the hill. Just the funniest bloke. Like, the funniest bloke. On the green, off the green, he'd be chucking peanuts in people's glasses, but he could play. So when outdoors, we have a tournament, a triples tournament, and it's the Mike Jonathan Memorial Tournament, which is for Mike, and the trophy's a tree with a pasty on it and a pint on it. But yeah, Mike Jonathan.
Maybe talk about that. Maybe we could do a stream like that one.
Absolutely.
Maybe you went for us to stream with you, buddy.
Book it in. Good Wi-Fi too.
So obviously, we mentioned it before with youngsters and nerds, right? This is kind of a question for, again, the younger audience, or people who are fairly new and kind of wondering, well, should I stick with bowls? Is it really for me? I'm going to ask you, it's a little bit of a hard question. You're more than welcome to skip if you want. It's not too bad, but has there ever been a time in your bowls career where you thought, it's time to pack it in, or I don't really think I can do this anymore, any longer, or have you just been like bowls through and through?
I wouldn't say I never thought about quitting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'd do. Do you know what I mean? I genuinely don't know. I had a winter off once.
It takes over your life, doesn't it, bowls?
Yeah, I had a winter off once, and I thought, I don't know.
As a family, we've just...
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But I don't know. I mean, you sort of fall in and out of love with the game. Recently, it's been weird. I've always been outdoors. But lately, the last couple of years, it's been, I can't wait for indoors. Mm-hmm. That's not me, really. I enjoy indoors. I play indoors. Probably have more, arguably, success indoor with the Welsh teams and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's just you fall out of love with it a bit, don't you? You think, I can't be bothered for this. Like, do I want to put myself through this? Do I want to give my time to this? When is it worth it? But yeah, you snap out to that. And then when you get with the boys, it's great then,
Yeah, I mean, it's always worth kind of getting through that. I mean, we all have rough patches and goals.
Yeah,
we all struggle from time to time. Some more than others, obviously. But it's just a question. I think a lot of kids, especially get it with youngsters, right? You're 12 to 18-year-olds who have played for a few years and are trying to do this, that, and the other, and they feel like they're not improving. And it's like, is it worth kind of just pack? It's never worth packing. You've always got to get through that, right? Lastly, I guess the last thing I wanna kind of talk to you about and just kind of your experience as a whole with bowls. I know we've talked about a lot today with how bowls is going and where we need to go through, but when you say to yourself you wish you had these things when you were a kid growing older, but what was your best experience in bowls? Like, kind of what stands out to you and thinks, I've done a lot for many years. What is that number one feeling? Think, I've kind of made it. This has kind of been a great decision for you.
I mean, obviously, when you get a chance to play for Wales, that's unbelievable. You're fortunate at last year, and touch wood, we get another go this year, and fingers crossed or whatever. But under 25s, the first under 25s cap was. Again, it's just, I'm quite sort of a bit soppy, like, I sort of love that sort of thing, and it does sort of take over me a bit. I'm a bit sort of a bit of an emotional person, like I just cry all the time, like terrible, like the Gavin and Stacey, can't remember the last half hour because I was crying my eyes out. But justice for Smithy. No, it's just, I don't know, you just get these moments, like when you achieve things together as a team, like we got to the Crothers semi-finals, 2008, 2009, or whatever it was. What a day, like. It's one of the best days I've ever had in bowls. Like, we lost. We lost in the semi-final. We were well up and we lost. We had an amazing day. Like, the best day. Everyone was there. Everyone's family was there. Like, the whole club and their family went, like, 5 o'clock in the morning on buses. And it was unbelievable day.
You had it last year, didn't you? You made a run in the Crothers last year in Bridgend, and they took a 40-seater bus up to Lampeter.
It doesn't make such a difference, though, when you've got everyone there and you think, this is big time.
It's funny, we've talked about a number of players, really quality players who play at a high level, and they play a lot of individual.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the camaraderie, it's the team thing, it's the spirit. And it's more so when you play outdoor for your club, isn't it? And that's not knocking indoor.
No,
it's just indoors. Indoors, you've got a number of different people from
yeah.
different clubs who come together, and we've made some great friends playing down in Talbot.
Yeah.
But when we go back to our club, it's your club, Audrey. It's your club. It's and at the moment it is the boys, because there's only men and the EPG playing together, trying to battle, get that promotion at the end of the year.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I think it's great, and they are the days you look back on, and like when you've had a big win away, you go to like Penlan and you beat Penlan, it's like, oh my god, like these are good sides, and we're competing with these teams.
Well, obviously you're in a bit of a different division to us. We did get promoted this year, so we're up to.
I like that because I like your club.
So what division are you in next year
then? I'm in Division 1 next year.
Right, okay.
Yes, so
spoiler alert.
No, cheers, boys. No, it's all signed, sealed, done, dusted.
Okay, so there's no
secret. I've started paying my membership. I hope it's not a secret.
I have to push you into it tonight. So you're on the move,
I'm on the move,
From the Mighty Weg.
From the Weg, and I'm still obviously a member of the Weg, and I will always be a member of the Weg, and I will never let that go. But making the move to Harlequins.
Well, I mean, in terms of, obviously, you still ambition to play for Wales, both indoor and out. You've got to be playing at these high quality places.
It's not so much that. It's I think we got to a point where you say about packing it in and stuff like that. And over the last couple of years, obviously, as you reckon, we've struggled a little bit. I say we, it's always going to be we. We struggled a bit with, we've lost a lot of players. We're getting old, don't play no more. Leaving to go to other clubs, and for some reason, I don't understand it, and I never will. And the boys rack their brains over it all the time. It's like, can't understand why people don't want to come and play in that club, because it's the perfect setting. The green, I think, is the best. I'm biased, but it's the best.
It does look lovely.
Yeah, it's great. The boys work really hard on it, but as a team, we're just not as competitive anymore, and it's really difficult then to sort of you want to do the best for the boys, because I love those boys and they're great friends of mine. But it's hard, and I want to sort of be in a position where I can compete against top sides. I want to compete with these.
But if you're in a Welsh trial, you've got to be playing at the highest level.
I want to. I'm no secret. I want to progress and do well and achieve things, and I don't think I can do that there at the minute.
Well, we wish you all the best in the Harlequins.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Queens. I can't wait.
We have forgot one thing. All the way through. You had a great little run down in Tenby.
Pinched a bit of money last year.
And you had a bit of silverware as well.
I did, yeah. So I won the Losers Cup. I won a couple of them last year.
What was which cup was that?
It's the Five Arches.
Five Arches.
So it's the one that nobody wants to win.
Because you got in the first 2 rounds, isn't it?
So I think I won my first game in one of them, and then lost. You've got to be up to them both by the Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
That's the rule. So you play a round on the Sunday, or it's the Wednesday afternoon, sorry. So you play a round of gold on the Sunday, round of gold on the Tuesday, round of silver on the Monday, round of silver on the Wednesday, if you keep winning. I must have been up to them both. I lost, and I was thinking, I lost these 2 games? Controversial one of them, but we won't go into that. It's not the time. It's not the time. No, but I was up to it, so I just thought, I'll have a game. I'm here for the week, so I might as well play 10 or 20 or whatever. And just, I don't know where it came from, because I was playing.
So you had a bit of silverware, You had, I seen the photograph on Facebook coming up with a bit of silverware. However, somebody in your family actually had a better run.
He should have won it.
But didn't get the silverware, did he?
Stop drinking. That was the issue. Genuinely,
so what are we talking about?
Chum lost in the Gold Cup final to Danny Davis Jr., fantastic player, and probably was the best player all week. But Chum played the whole week pissed, basically. So, because
for the younger members, he just had a couple. He had just 2 or 3.
He'd play his game, go and have 4 or 5 pints, and then that'd be it. But he was, we'd been drinking all week. And then he just stopped drinking after the semi-final.
I think I messaged you saying, great, well done on winning that, but actually, losing in the finals was...
Oh no, he done amazing.
It was an amazing thing. Because the Gold Cup for me, when I was 18, I started playing bowls, and down in Pembrokeshire, so I was in Pendine bowling, and the Gold Cup was the big thing down west,
He won it years ago, 2009, 8, 9.
Yeah.
He won it. But... it was a great run, and he played some great players.
So you had a great week for both of you, really.
It was a good week, I mean, we stopped at a KFC on the way home and I had to pay because I had my prize winnings and it's being transferred because I only had 100 quid. They give me a cash in hand envelope and you have to have a bank transfer, so I bought the KFC. But yeah, no, thank you, Mike. Yeah, no, I don't win singles tournaments. I don't play singles. I haven't played singles for years, and yeah, it was
that's still a good win, though, isn't it? You know, because it's a quality.
Mike Jackson in the fight. Mike's international. Mike's an international player, so I'm claiming that.
Yeah.
I'm having that one. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
Oh, brilliant.
Really good.
Yeah, so I forgot about that one. Sorry, Nick.
No, thanks, mate. Cheers. I enjoyed that.
I think we've probably come to an end.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you very, very much for being on. We hope you're going to be part of the Bowls Breakdown podcast and live streaming for many years forward.
But the people would want.
We'll see how many views it gets.
Good luck in the final tryout.
Oh, thank you.
To everybody out there, hope you enjoyed. We got plenty more coming up, so we'll.
So our schedule is about every 2 to 3 weeks. The episodes will be running.